All right, so welcome to another mentorship session with John Kluse. So say hello, John. All right, and let's dive right into it. So tell me about uh, the present situation since the last time we met, and kind of how that uh, like the difference between that and your preferred future, and what you'd like to do in this time to get closer to that preferred future. Okay.
with the with Mentor Hub in the last couple of weeks, I agreed to help out with the um, what is it? The search UI,
Okay.
and I built a quick mock-up of the sketch that Mike had drawn, and that that's about the extent of that. Um, but uh, and then uh, t- the topic UI that I've been working on is kind of a little bit in hold because I am trying to connect it to the API, and there's some. It's not quite set up with with working responses, but I've talked to the guy doing the back end for it, and he's gonna work on that. But um, yeah, that's kind of the present situation. And I know we talked a lot last time on job search and
Yeah.
things like that. Honestly, I haven't focused a lot on applications. I haven't put a lot of applications in lately.
Okay.
Um, or I continue to network on LinkedIn, and I have automated searches from LinkedIn and ZipRecruiter and a few other places that send me new job postings. So I do keep apprised of like opportunities that come through, uh, looking for something that might align really well. And if there was something like that, I would definitely apply. Uh, but yeah, I've continued to work on some coursework. Um, I've been going through a testing course with Jest and Vite Test, and also been doing some TypeScript a separate TypeScript course on front end masters, which I
Okay.
have a subscription to, and that's really it's been really good because those are a couple of things I may have mentioned in the past that I feel like I don't have much experience with, like testing, and I have a little exposure to TypeScript, but I want to be able to talk about in interviews like projects that I've built using TypeScript and things like that. So I think that's a step in that direction that will make me a more competitive candidate.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. So I added to your celebrated, lots of things to celebrate. So there's the mock up for Search UI. So great contributions there. You have a job now, so that kind of changes things. I know what it's like to be unemployed myself, and having a job is definitely something to celebrate, depending on what your situation looks like. Um, API work is in progress. So yeah, lots to celebrate with the work you're doing with Mentor and lots to celebrate regarding education. So regarding the job search, yeah, from what I understood, you were looking for an engineering job, and the job you're going to start soon is not in engineering. Should we kind of move on from that and like focus more on Mentor Hub, or is that something you don't want to talk about because maybe their current work will be like, oh, well, he wants to do something else, or like, how does this change? Uh, so during our
Yeah,
time together and going, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't think it changes my long term preferred future.
Okay.
I think it's just a means means to that preferred end
Mm-hmm.
where this is just a job to make some money and give me some time to continue to actually work on the things I can keep working on. But yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. I think it also so it's a job that um, requires a clearance, so it's some clearance work, and I know eventually it might be something that not necessarily this particular job, but maybe in the future being able to do like development in a cleared environment
Okay.
for like defense contracting and things like that might be a good um, area for me just based on my background in the military and just having that clearance. Most of my like interviews and screenings and things are actually in the defense area. So I don't think this job will hurt. If anything, it'll at least help me maintain my clearance
Yeah.
and continue to network in that segment.
Yeah, that's I've known my own job search. There were clearance jobs that came up all the time, and I looked into getting a clearance. And from what I saw, to get a clearance, you have to have a clearance. So it's kind of
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's very costly and time consuming process
Mm-hmm.
because it's done by the government. So it's definitely a leg up when you do have a clearance and all they need to do is just sponsor you to continue your clearance and do a update of your security paperwork and stuff like that.
Okay, so yeah, I'm updating the uh, celebrating because that's something even more to celebrate. You have a job that leverages some of your unique advantages. Um, so yeah, that's even better. So like, what are some ideas you have? Like we've talked about, like the resume. It looks like we have some links here for resumes. Have you looked those over?
I was actually just looking at the ATS one this morning,
Okay.
um, and I haven't been able to go through a lot of it. But one interesting thing that came out that I read in there was that the format of a resume, um, they were saying a PDF resume is not the most ATS friendly type,
Yeah.
which was kind of interesting to me. I haven't had issues really that I know of. You know, when you go to a lot of the big ones and they pull your information through uploading your resume into like their form fields and stuff, that that usually works pretty well. Um, and I use a PDF for my resume, but yeah, that's kind of the only thing I've kind of looked at in that document.
Yeah, I used to use. I've actually follow a hiring YouTube channel, and he said if you're getting a lot of auto rejections, you're being screened out by ATS. You just need to revamp your
Mhm.
resume to pass ATS.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that so much. Um, I mean, I get gotten my fair share, but it doesn't seem to be across the board or anything.
Okay.
Every, every application, but
All right. So yeah, so that's definitely an idea to apply the traditional way. I think that works. That's kind of how I got my job. So I guess I'll mark these off. Do you have any more like ideas or anything to say about this?
about the job search stuff.
Yeah.
I no, I think it's good to keep looking at that stuff because um, I think there's always ways to improve resumes and make make it more clear the value that you have. So, but yeah, I don't have anything else specific on that.
Okay, and just a question: are you applying for? Because your main one thing that is we talk. I think we talked about the um, nice to haves list, the must have list, basically
Hmm.
the section in the Odin project for job searching. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're asking if I'm applying to jobs that have
yeah.
my
Are when you apply to jobs, are you sticking to that list? I think one of them was remote. And are you optimizing your search, like for example, going on remote only job boards to find jobs there?
um. So I yes. First of all, yes, I'm basically going off the criteria um, that we've talked about before, um, where that does include remote positions as well as like in person or hybrid locally. But as far as like a lot of remote only specific job boards, I wouldn't say I have a lot of those. Um, Early on, I was using Otta. I think it's called Otta
Oh
or
yeah, yeah,
Otto.
yep.
And I think those are all remote only positions. LinkedIn has a lot of remote positions, but they they also get a lot of visibility, so a lot of competition there too. So yeah, I am kind of still applying based on that criteria, but I wouldn't say I have a lot of remote only job boards that I'm focusing on right now.
Okay, yeah. I have my own list of those with auto is on there. I think I could send you that pretty easily if you would like it. So so what are some like more ideas? Uh, like we talked about job searching, we talked about ATS, we talked about leveraging your unique advantages, a clearance, which is a huge advantage. It's very hard to get a clearance. Um, and we talked about targeting specific areas that offer what you're looking for, like remote job boards. So, uh, is there so okay? Is there anything else to say about this? Like, what's a good first step from here? I feel like you're starting this new job, so like you're kind of already this branch of things is kind of you know like what are your thoughts regarding implementation of your goals and what's a good first step from where you are now because you're about to start a new job, so would a good first step be to like revamp your resume?
I would say yes, and
Yeah.
not so much because I'm starting the new job.
Mhm.
Um, I think the main reason I need to revamp my resume is mainly to highlight the work that I've done on Mentor Hub and kind of show more value in that. Um, I I think I did revamp my resume to show that I was doing this, but I don't think I got to a point where I had a lot of the specifics of my contributions and things like that. So I think that's one of the first steps is going to be just kind of updating it to show more experience in contributing to an open source project with other multiple front end and back end data engineers. And um, one of the things I did the we talked about a lot was the cognitive walkthrough, and I don't know if I could highlight that on my resume too, but that kind of shows the just being involved in agile processes or design thinking, and because that's something I know a lot of companies look for, experience with agile or you know design or project management things. So yeah, that would be my focus on redoing or updating my resume.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Actually, it was a bit of rhetorical, not open ended. But I agree. Yeah, and another thing to keep in mind is this is what future employers will talk about. This is what people see on your LinkedIn. Your start date. Your general like keeping track of that and not having to go dig for it later makes a lot of sense. And then the other thing I've heard about, I don't know if you've heard about this, is something called a brag document. So one
Mm-hmm.
thing I did on my LinkedIn is if you look at my most current job that I'm working now, I actually used ChatGPT to give me some in progress bullet points. So these aren't bullet points for things that I've done. These are bullet points for things that I potentially could do if everything goes perfect. So I could reduce the testing cycle from X amount to Y amount with a reduction of Z percent. if I can, spearhead and implement comprehensive network engineering QA processes, which is what I was hired to do. So hopefully I can do that. I can,
Right.
yeah, so I can develop and document a scalable automation framework. That one I can actually already fill in with something I've actually done because uh, where I'm using PyATS. So I can actually already fill in some of these just based on the handful of months that I've worked there so far.
So you're using it to document stuff you have done, but also like potentially do in the near future, so that you kind of keep track of those things that you could put on a resume at some point, right?
Yeah, so if it's kind of like you can go back and remember, so you're not like, oh, I forget what I did. Um, you can use it as kind of a roadmap of things where this would be awesome if I could do it. And then, be honest, if some of these just didn't describe what you were doing, get rid of
Mm-hmm.
them or modify them to make them more accurate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think that's great because yeah, a lot of times it's looking back and trying to remember all the specifics of what you've done.
Yeah.
Um, and those specifics are kind of what unlock the value. So doing it when you're in the process or close to completing it, yeah, that sounds like a good time to update it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm putting that in your now scope. Revamp resume to show Mentor Hub work. I'm also adding make it ATS friendly. So use DocX and then use ChatGPT to like do the formatting. ChatGPT is pretty good, I think, at that. Even the free version. And then think of big wins that might happen on the job. Make predictive bullet points uh, for in progress bullet points uh, for things you might uh, accomplish
Mm-hmm.
that would be huge wins for for applying in the future.
Gotcha.
And then when
Yeah,
you, yep, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, something I've been thinking about with this new job potentially is how it might look on a resume, um, where I, not being a software development role, um, and whereas my last one was like a 7-month contract and it was tied to software development support. Um, if potentially minimizing this particular role because it's not software related, in some ways, just to, I, I guess my question that I'm trying to spit out is like, whether or not potential like employers in the future might look at um, my resume and be like, okay, he did some software stuff, but he got a job non IT related, and so maybe he's not like serious about getting into this field. But that's just kind of a thought or concern
No,
that I've
I in
wondered
my
how to
person.
handle.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just thinking about how to handle it on a resume.
Okay. So, what would you like to celebrate with me next time?
Um, I would like to have some progress on updating the resume and um, perhaps some additional contributions with Mentor Hub and some more work on my educational coursework.
Okay. So, coursework and Mentor Hub contributions. Okay, so now with the looks like we got about 3 minutes here. Let's go to the awkward one. So the awkward one is transformation. How are your discoveries making a difference for you? That's kind of always a tough one for me to I feel like ask, but let's think about your discoveries. So I think a big discovery for this week is you have that advantage of having a clearance. So like clearly that makes a difference, and not only that, there's clearance jobs that are in software engineering. So like what are your thoughts regarding transformation, regarding like making discoveries?
Yeah, I think the thing that I maybe didn't think about as much just from talking about it today is just um, thinking about the opportunities and benefits of of having a job in that industry. I, even though it's not software related, I think there are potentially a lot of good things that could be leveraged from that, and I'm maybe just not thought about that um, until talking about it today.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, anything else to mention? Looks like we got another minute here.
Um, Not specifically, no. I just want to keep the momentum going. Um, I think in my mind, a concern with getting a job is like losing potentially momentum or focus on what what I want long term because of what spending more time working on something not IT related. It is just something that I want to just try to keep the momentum going. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it sounds like you want to still have like mentor hub contributions, self studying, sandwiched
Mhm.
into a 40-hour work week, which kind of had the luxury of more time, and you'll have to deal with that. I mean, sometimes that can be a good thing because, like, if you have a limited, scarce amount of time, you use it more effectively. Is kind of my take on that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Be a little more focused.
Yeah. All right.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
thank
hopefully you have a find a time to do that, maybe lunch or wherever makes sense.
yeah, definitely carve out some time, but appreciate your time and mentorship. So thank you.
All right. Yep. So that's 12 o'clock. So that's it. So so yeah, everyone, the millions and billions of people watching this, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.
All right, see you later.
Mm.